Well, this particular gentleman's comment isn't very nice, now is it? Doesn't seem like they like me very much. I'm heartbroken. But this is yet another unfortunate example of how some men, and I must reiterate that, some men still think that this is an acceptable way, apparently, to talk about another person, in this case, a woman. Because there are some men out there that when they don't like something a woman says, or something about her, will immediately try to disparage their character, or in this case, go after their virtue. I mean, really, what time period are we living in? Seriously. But I guess they haven't seen some of the many videos in which I have called out men's poor or unacceptable behavior, and we will just add this video to that line of content as well. Because talking like this to or about any person really isn't acceptable. If a person doesn't have a valid counter-argument to anything that that person has to say, perhaps the best thing would just be to remain silent.
Don't you literally just hate when men
get hated on for simply existing? Why, yes, I do, as do a lot of rational people out there. They actually look down on bigotry.
But the quickest way to get rid of a man that's causing you problems is to ask them for money.
Easiest way to get women like this to leave you alone indefinitely is to ask them to take any kind of personal accountability. Oh my goodness, how awful! A gentleman sat within 10 feet of another person that happened to be a woman. My goodness, how lucky and, I might add, privileged does someone actually have to be if this is the worst thing that they're complaining about on the internet?
Think of how weird you have to be recording somebody like that. These boys minding their business and you trying to get some sort of sound bite or something like that. Leave somebody alone. I mean, there's plenty of restaurants around that are open. Why don't you go get something to eat? Take a load off.
If I tell you leave me alone, and you leave me alone, you're legit dead to me.
I think this gentleman should consider himself to be extremely lucky, because there are some women out there that do have this type of mentality. They don't want men to necessarily listen to the words that they say. They want them to glean the hidden meaning behind it all, and then do what they secretly want, but won't say.
Like, I can't believe you do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, heaven forbid a man actually does what a woman says that she wants him to do. That's crazy.
Like, I was legit talking to a guy, and I said, I don't think we should speak anymore. He goes, okay, haven't heard from him in 5 days. Wow, that was too easy.
See, what they really wanted was for that guy to chase after them so that that little game that they were playing could continue.
The fact that your life just went on like that, like I was nothing.
I mean, that'll happen. A lot of guys, when they figure out that a woman is playing games, will absolutely be more than pleased to leave them alone.
I wanted to prove to you that not all men are bad.
Okay, let's do this.
They're all rapists. All of them. All of them. All of them. Even the good ones. Even the ones who are emotionally mature. The ones who have done so much spiritual growth and learning.
No, they're not. And saying so is actually quite harmful. Now, I do understand that this person is actually dealing with some trauma, and that is highly unfortunate. However, that is not an excuse for poor behavior.
He let me have sex with him, knowing my trauma, knowing that I was a rape survivor, and then felt so bad. So bad that he thought he should be honest, but only when prompted. Only when prompted. I don't want to lie to you, I have raped someone. But you still had sex with me? But you still had sex with a rape survivor?
That was truly a very sad situation. And she genuinely does have my deepest sympathies. And I do understand how such unfortunate events can make a person very angry and want to blame every man for the actions of one very disgusting individual who probably should be investigated. But it is not okay to blame all men for the actions of one wretched individual. And I will add, please don't harass this woman. She's gone through enough. What do some of these women, especially ones that make content like this, even want? Or rather, I should say, expect out of life? Because from what I have been seeing, there are some women that certainly want all of the rights and privileges and benefits of being treated as an equal to a man, but only in so much as it suits them. However, the moment it doesn't suit them, such as having to stand and wait on a subway, they want to shame men for treating them as equals. And in those cases, they don't want to be treated as equals. No, they want to be treated as better, it seems, than men. Or some could argue they want to be treated as inferior to men, as they are apparently too weak to stand. My goodness, I guess we could be setting feminism back over 100 years with that kind of implication, couldn't we? So, do you want to be treated as equals, or do you want to be treated as less than? You really can't have it both ways.
Men will blame everybody but themselves for the fact that they can't find a quality woman.
Well, let's just breeze by the fact that for a lot of men that actually have standards, there certainly is a lack of quality women out there.
Like they'll say, feminism has ruined dating. No, it hasn't.
Well, toxic feminism that actually is only about disparaging men certainly has.
If you can't reach the bar that women have set for themselves, just say that.
And if someone doesn't understand that a lot of men actually have standards that a lot of women out there simply can't reach, just say that.
Because the first step to doing better is admitting that you have a problem.
Ooh, I think I see the problem.
So if you admit that you have a problem and you better yourself and you become a good enough person that you can reach those standards that women have set for themselves, then you won't have a problem anymore.
Yeah, one of the main problems is that a lot of women require men to be over 6 foot tall, have a 6-figure income, and spoil them like little princesses when they don't actually deserve it. Yeah, that's one of the problems.
It's not feminism that ruined it, it's you.
It's always the men's fault, isn't it? Problem is, it takes two.
I wonder if at some point in time, her and some of these other women are going to take any part of, or any kind of accountability. I mean, I think men at this point, they know they're not going to get full 100% accountability. They know they're not going to get an apology, but I don't know, maybe 20%. Maybe we could start at 20% accountability and work from there.
I think it's so funny whenever I post anything saying like, women are oppressed.
Well, that's fascinating. And yes, there are still places in this world today where women are genuinely oppressed. However, I wonder if they're going to tell us anything about how women are supposedly oppressed in the Western world.
And then there's so many men in the comments who are like, oh yeah, how are women oppressed? How are they oppressed?
Yes, indeed. I know I'm waiting to hear how I'm supposedly oppressed. I believe we're all waiting for that answer.
Babe, just look at this comment section. Like, you all hate us.
And that was the entirety of the video. Anyone else notice that they didn't actually answer the question of how women are oppressed, specifically in the Western world where this video was obviously made, but instead they deflected to the comment section, which naturally and unfortunately did have some rather disparaging comments about women in it from men. Now, here's something important to remember. Just because some men out there don't like women or make disparaging remarks does not mean that a person is oppressed. It really makes me wonder if some individuals actually know the definition of the term. So that video, in and of itself, was fairly self-explanatory. There are a lot of women out there that are actually very proud, it seems, of announcing that they are exchanging their time in exchange for money. That's the entire reason that they're dating. But believe it or not, I found a video that explains it even better. Well, if nothing else, we can say that we've reached a whole new level on social media, and that would be complete and total honesty. There are some women out there freely admitting that they're just using men. Oh, and the caption on that last video? Just priceless. A person could even say, disgusting. But the really sad part is the amount of women that actually praise this type of behavior. It's almost like they condemn that same behavior when men do it, though. Odd.
Hey guys, Teslas don't come with a spare tire.
Okay, well, that seems rather impractical.
So if you want to come at me about how I should know how to change a tire, first of all, no, I shouldn't.
Why shouldn't any grown adult, strike that, why shouldn't anybody who's old enough to drive, to include teenagers, not know how to change a tire? That's called a basic life skill.
Okay, I had an amazing dad and I have an amazing husband.
Then they should have taught you how to change a tire.
I am a feminist and I don't need to learn how to change a tire.
A feminist? But feminists are supposed to believe in things like equality, equal treatment, even that one thing that a lot of women seem to want to avoid, equal responsibility. So if a person thinks that they shouldn't have to learn how to change a tire because they're a feminist, then obviously they don't know the first thing about feminism.
Second of all, Teslas don't come with one, so if I'm not the one, I'm not the one, okay?
I would wholeheartedly agree that someone is most certainly not the one, as they seem to lack basic life skills.
You don't understand. Men suffer in silence.
Yes, for the most part they do. And let's take a look at one of the reasons why that is.
Really? Then why am I always hearing about it?
You're always hearing about it? Because it's one of those things that actually matters. And I understand that it makes a lot of individuals uncomfortable to talk about the things that men actually have to go through, because there are a lot of individuals out there that are too busy trying to blame men for absolutely everything that goes on in the world without ever taking a single moment of their time to consider what a lot of men go through, what they have to suffer through, and what they have to deal with. I know it makes you uncomfortable to have to actually take some accountability for the fact that men suffer in silence mainly because there are so many out there, mainly women, that shame them for actually expressing what's wrong or talking about their mental health. And that's why you have to keep hearing about it.
Men are pathetic, and I think we need to say it more, like, with our chest.
Oh, lovely. Now just take a moment with me and imagine the amount of backlash that would happen if a man actually said this about women. It would be all over social media. And the comments alone, can you even imagine? Heck, it might even make the news. But unfortunately, behavior like this from women towards men isn't newsworthy. It barely even ruffles any feathers anymore, because misandry has become commonplace because it's so popular. And unfortunately, a lot of women just don't care about men. They really don't. They use them as their emotional punching bags. And even other women think that they can't be possibly sexist towards men because they think that they're oppressed in the Western world. And in their minds, you can't be prejudiced or sexist towards someone who oppresses you. What a world we live in. Unfortunately, there are some women out there that make a lot of the rest of us that don't think that way look rather bad.
Now, I could see if some of these women were running companies, they were entrepreneurs, they were just the top of the top. But the women that you see talking about this nonsense, not doing anything but running their mouth. That's all. Why would we listen to you? Oh, men should start in jail and work their way out. Why? Why don't you do that? With the way that you think, you might as well be in there. You're a prisoner of your own stupidity.
Hot takes. Who likes to see those? Because I found a doozy. So, they're actually trying to perpetuate the not only false, but I would go so far as to say very harmful narrative that misandry isn't real and that it was actually created by men as a way to try to discredit the feminist movement. And then they actually go on to demonstrate that they actually don't know the definition of misandry. But let's take a look at the actual definition of misandry for a moment, okay? So misandry means hatred of men. Remember that. Because there are those out there that would try to convince you that you don't know what you're talking about, that that's not what the word means, and that you're actually crazy for believing so. But any person who actually tries to convince you that you're crazy for actually believing in what is reality is actually doing, and I hesitate to say this because it's so often misused, performing the ultimate form of gaslighting. Because many don't want to take accountability for their own actions.
Men not being at work on a weekday, I don't like it.
Oh, so men shouldn't take time off?
No.
Oh my.
Why are you not at work? Why is it a Wednesday afternoon and you're not working?
I mean, it's almost like it's nobody's business why a man would decide to take the day off work. I mean, heaven forbid he be taking care of some personal or family business, or even just taking time for himself. But apparently, that's asking too much.
Not at the office. Not on a construction site.
I wonder if they could stereotype men a little bit more. I bet that would help.
Do you work from home? Because even that's pushing it.
And who can guess what they're about to say next?
Working from home is for the girlies. The girlies and the gays, not for the guys.
Oh, this is fun. So now the appropriateness of a person's job is dependent on their gender as well as their orientation. Okay.
Why are you traipsing around a random city on a Tuesday? Go to work. Go to work.
You know, ironically, in the spirit of equality, I think someone should probably be taking their own advice. Okay, so I do understand that this post was originally meant to be a joke. However, in my understanding of what a joke actually is, they're meant to be, you know, funny. But what exactly is funny about DV? Have we reached a point where it's okay to joke about DV in society? Huh, that's unfortunate. But I would like to point out that if this type of post was made about a woman getting hit with a frying pan for acting out in her household, oh my goodness, the internet would be up in arms, wouldn't it? But if it's a man, for some it's okay to call it a joke and laugh about it. Not even taking into consideration the hundreds, if not thousands, of men that are victims of DV every single year. And sadly, it goes underreported because men often get shamed for being by a woman. But yet it's okay to joke about it, right? We need to do better than this.
I deserve to have my life fully funded by men.
I'm just curious, but why does it seem that a lot of women out there have this particular mentality? Why do they deserve to have their lives paid for? I mean, why?
I want my nails paid for. I want my toes paid for. I want my shopping paid for. I want my hair paid for. I want my makeup paid for. I want everything paid for.
You know, there's actually a term that very accurately describes someone who has to live off of the lives of others.
And you know who's going to pay for it? You are.
You know, the saddest part of this is, and it's not the fact that they're basically advertising that they have no marketable skills and are having to live off of their looks alone. I wonder what they're going to do when they're not in their 20s or even their 30s anymore, and they start progressing towards their 40s and their 50s. I wonder if they actually have any job skills. No, but the saddest part about this is that there are actually a lot of men out there that would be more than happy just to pay for it to get her attention.
You know, it's that thing that they do, that the star thing, that manifesting thing that they do, where they just say it out in the atmosphere and it's supposed to automatically or magically come true. Why would it? Ma'am, you can get all that and more should you go into a line of work. Should you go into a line of work where after you get through, pretty much all of society will lose all of their respect for you.
Women do not flirt with men that they like.
So who do women flirt with then? Men that they don't like? No, that can't be right. I'm sure that there's more to this.
When a woman likes you, she's likely to not even look at you.
I can most certainly see how a lot of guys would probably be very confused at this point, hearing that if a woman likes you, she's not even going to look at you, and she's most certainly not going to be flirting with you. It's almost as like they're trying to say that there's no way at all to know if a woman actually likes you.
Men need to stop thinking that just because a woman shows them some sort of attention, that it means that she likes him.
I mean, that's at least somewhat true. Sometimes people just engage in casual conversation. But that really isn't solving the problem that we have here, is it?
If a woman is talking to you a lot, she's probably just very comfortable and thinks that you're easy to get along with.
But of course. But remember, according to the first part of this video, if she's talking to you a lot and paying you some sort of attention, she absolutely is not flirting with you, and it probably doesn't mean that she likes you, because if she likes you, she would be ignoring you. Anyone notice that a lot of these individuals out there that give all of this dating advice aren't actually giving any sort of advice? They're just muddying the waters.
The reason why a woman cheats?
Okay, what's the excuse this time for having no self-control, no morals, and no sense of loyalty?
Is because she lost that emotional connection with you.
So by all means, for some, it makes it perfectly acceptable to go out and find it with someone else.
And somehow you stop making her feel special and safe.
It's actually quite amazing that there are still some out there that will try to make cheating the person's fault who got cheated on.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Okay, why isn't it?
And I can't believe I even have to say this.
But yet, here we are. So why isn't it a date?
It is low effort. You put zero thought into it.
Based on what? That the guy isn't spending a lot of money? Maybe he just wanted to get to know you.
If I wanted to go on a hot girl walk, I would call one of my girlfriends. You know, like I will go with the girlies.
Okay then, what exactly did you have in mind?
A date is something that you actually have to plan. A date is something that you are investing a certain amount financially into it. It doesn't have to be a ton, but something.
No, a man does not have to invest money into a certain activity in order for it to be considered a date. That's rather materialistic minded of someone.
For example, if you wanted to go on a walk and then have a picnic, right? You have a couple snacks, maybe bring like some music you can listen to. Like, oh, this is a perfect view for a sunset. Like, let's put a little thought into it.
It's really sad that some individuals think that a relationship has to start out by someone spending money.
Even a guy that has no money, like if he wanted to, he would. He will find a way to figure it out. He will find a way to make it special for you.
It's almost like things can be made special and meaningful without money.
If a man is trying to take you on a walk, girl, run. Run. Not toward him. Away.
Just a thought, but if a woman needs a man to spend money on her in order for her to feel special, yeah, the woman's not the one that should be running in the opposite direction. So, gentlemen, if you don't spend copious amounts of money on a woman, they're going to try to shame you into doing so by a couple of different methods. And here's how.
Only guys that don't have money call other men simps.
So there's that. And then there's this.
Because other men actually are straight and like women and like to please women and cater to women. They feel like if you like women and if you cater to women that you're a simp, but really, those guys are just gay.
Right then. So that was a very blatant attempt at emotional manipulation. And it's just my opinion, but the types of ladies that put out those particular statements are not at all interested in having a man who is self-confident, knows himself, and has good self-esteem. No, they are in fact only interested in those types of men that are easily manipulated into getting them to do exactly what they want, which is unfortunately spending large amounts of money on them. So gentlemen, please don't fall for these types of shaming tactics, because at the end of the day, most of the women that put out statements like that are only after your money.
I wonder if at any point in time, these women saying stuff like this are going to cater to a man. Do you even cook your man a meal? I mean, at this point, do you even make your man a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? At this point, are you even thinking about it? Are you even thinking, at this point, has it ever crossed your mind? These modern women are so focused on themselves that they never ever think about a man. It never ever crosses their mind that they would have to do something for another person outside of themselves. Passenger princess treatment, soft girl era. Life is hard. Stand up. The counter right there. Do those dishes. Appreciate it.
Men, just a reminder, don't ever feel guilty for cheating on your wife.
Oh my goodness. This person is giving advice now. Oh goody.
It's her fault for being lazy and not pleasuring you.
I mean, no. That's not an excuse for cheating. There's never an excuse to cheat. If a person is unhappy in a relationship, do the adult thing and just leave the relationship. Have a conversation about it. Don't be that person that tries to make excuses for bad behavior. There is no excuse for being unfaithful to your partner. Whether you're a man or a woman, there is not one legitimate, reasonable, logical excuse for it. But I gotta say, that person giving advice on anything having to do with monogamous relationships, no, that's something new, isn't it? Oh good, another parade that I get to rain on. Now, watching this, I got the distinct impression that this was meant to be funny. Something that women could bond over in their mutual disdain of men by calling them trash to a catchy little tune. What's wrong with some individuals out there? I mean, they are fully aware, I hope, that they're referring to all men. They didn't distinguish who they were talking about. So these women who likely have fathers or brothers, and possibly even sons, are calling even those men in their lives trash because they don't like the actions of some men. So naturally, all the rest of them have to be trash. But here's something I don't think they thought about. If all men are in fact trash, what does that make the women who actually love those men, who care for them, who support them? They're not being very supportive of other women and their choices, are they? Oh dear, that is unfortunate.
Men only care about your body count because they're jealous.
Somehow, I doubt that.
They're jealous that it's so easy for us to get sex. They're jealous it's so easy for us to just post a status or make money off our bodies.
No, they're not. Because a lot of men out there actually have what are called standards when it comes to someone that they choose to be in a relationship with. And a person who has a large body count, well, that can tell you a lot about that person and their decision-making skills.
They actually have to like trick women and put in work and spend money to try to get laid. We don't have to do anything.
Not exactly sure that that's something to be proud of.
These guys are just jealous and they're insecure and they don't like being beat at their own game. And because relationships are usually about power.
What? No, relationships should never be about power. I actually genuinely feel sorry for someone that thinks that.
They don't like that a woman has sexual power that is stronger than his. And it's not a compliment that all these men want to like sleep with a woman.
No, most men just don't like it when someone obviously doesn't have discerning taste and will sleep with almost anyone.
Oh, if you liked yourself, you wouldn't sleep with all these guys.
Ooh, finally got one right.
When they care about your body count, it's because they're jealous. They wish they were you. They wish they could be a woman. They wish they could make money off their bodies.
What?
And any guy that cares about your body count, he's not a keeper. Definitely not.
And the same could be said for any woman that doesn't respect a man having standards.
A man should never ask his woman to contribute financially in the relationship.
Oh, this ought to be good. Okay, why?
Men who ask women for money are insecure in their masculinity. As soon as a man asks a woman to contribute, to split bills, to contribute to rent, to go 50-50, because they're partners, because they're a team, and it's only fair, this man will grow resentful of his woman.
What an interesting take. I mean, not only did they say his woman, as if she's some sort of property, but also the woman apparently is supposed to be completely dependent on the man. But I hate to break it to some that think this way, relationships are supposed to be partnerships. And if you're in a long-term relationship, such as a marriage, each person does contribute to that relationship. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, that can be in terms of emotions, chores, things done around the house, or it could even be financially. And there's nothing wrong with both men and women contributing financially to the relationship. I really wonder where some individuals get these sorts of ideas. Oh wait, it's for those that want women to be completely dependent on men.
Cheat on him.
Why?
If he cheats on you, you cheat on him back. There's no long paragraphs, there's no yelling, there's no crying.
How about just leave them? You know, take the high road instead of...
Go find his dad, his brother, his best friend. I don't care if you have to lie about it. You are going to cheat back.
So then both people will be wrong. Fantastic.
And you're going to make that a stipulation at the beginning of your relationship. You're going to say, if you cheat on me, I just want you to know that I will be cheating on you back, and anybody is fair game.
If a person's entering a relationship and expecting to be cheated on, they probably shouldn't be entering that relationship in the first place.
So if it happens, which happens way too much, you get to follow through. You're not betraying. You're not betraying. You already set the boundary.
The scary thing is, this type of logic actually works for some.
You look them dead in the eye when you say, oh, by the way, I slept with this and this because I found out about yours, and you're walking out the door. You're not going back. A high road. It feels good to get revenge.
Instead of using your body as a tool for revenge against someone, how about keep your dignity and self-respect intact and just leave the relationship, you know, like an adult?
Honestly, for these modern women, their character is shot. That's why they're running into the same types of men. Their character is gone. It always has been. It always will be. I wouldn't put it past them. When they started developing in puberty, their brain was shot then. Out of all the TV and all that stuff that they've been watching, they've just been learning just full-on stupidity all the way up until how old they are now. Just all of it. That's why they can come with their chest, as that lady said, oh, we need to start calling men out, or whatever the heck she said. We need to start saying they're this and they're that with our chest. No, you need to shut up and sit down. You need to sit down and be taught. What a loser.
Can we bring back catcalling?
What?
Not specifically but like flirting.
Catcalling and flirting are very different things, but by all means, continue.
Men don't do it anymore. And I noticed this because they don't walk up to bars and they don't flirt, like at the gym, anywhere. Men don't walk up to anyone anywhere.
And why should they? They've been told to stay away from women, that women don't want them, they don't need them, that it's all men. Why would any sane man in this day and age walk up to a woman?
But they don't even catcall. Like the creepy men who used to catcall don't even do that anymore.
Apparently it's getting so bad out there that some women want attention from the creepy guys.
Men have gotten afraid to talk to women.
No, they're not afraid. It's just honestly not worth their time.
Not saying I need a man to catcall me, but a confidence boost every once in a while won't do me any harm.
Then go and get it from some of your female friends.
Let me get offended by you catcalling me at least.
So they want to be offended. I think I can help with that.
I walked through construction sites today and nothing. Not even a honk from a car. Not saying let's be creepy, but maybe let's be a little creepy and bring some confidence back a little bit.
If a person has to go looking for validation from outside sources, then they actually don't have any confidence to begin with.
A man should be so self-aware that when he looks at you,
one can only guess where this is going.
He knows that if he has any chance, he needs to financially match your face. Like it's not even an option. You're too pretty.
Financially match your face? Can't make this up. Talk about just equating women to nothing more than their outward appearance. Yay, feminism.
Truly nothing annoys me more than a man seeing me carry all of this equipment, walk by and say, got your hands full, don't you? Shut the
Okay, what exactly was so annoying about this situation that it demanded that a person stop everything that they were doing and make a video about it? Was it the fact that the guy said something sarcastic in regards to how much crap a person was carrying in one load? Or was it the fact that the guy didn't stop to offer to help? Because if it's the former, do bear in mind that oftentimes it is difficult for any person not to point out when another person is doing something rather silly. And if it's the latter, well, do bear in mind as well that women have been telling men for years that they don't need their help. Equality, after all. A woman can do everything that a man can do. And a lot of women have been telling men they don't need them at all. So it's no surprise that he didn't stop to help if that was the problem. But no matter what the issue is, it's always nice when someone can take time out of their day just to make a video about how annoyed they were at a situation.
I left my boyfriend and I've been traveling for 10 days and I've slept with 22 people in that 10 days.
What? How many?
22 people in that 10 days.
And they seem proud of this.
My goal was 20 and I just hit 22 this morning. It's 1 p.m. now here in Paris and I need to check out because I'm going home.
I can only imagine what they're going to do to fill the rest of the day.
I really doubt I'm going to get another 1 on the board.
Wait. They're hoping for more?
Either on the plane or on my layover, so I think 22 is where we're going to cap it out, but how did I go?
Well, at least they're breaking stereotypes, proving that it's not just some men that are completely indiscriminate when it comes to who they choose to be with, but I'm not exactly sure why any person would be proud of such a accomplishment. It's not exactly a flex to be like a 24-hour gas station opening to servicing anyone who happens to come in.
I actually have really horrible news to share.
And what would that be?
Women don't need men to make babies.
That's going to come as a great shock to a great many people. And just imagine the surprise in the scientific community.
We just need a fridge.
At this time, I would like to point out that it's actually a very, very cold freezer, not a fridge. And just where exactly do they think they're going to get the material to put in it? Where's that coming from, I wonder?
Every single day, sperm is reproduced, meaning one man could impregnate 30 women in 1 month.
Wait a minute, I thought they didn't need men. Oh well, I guess those silly little facts got in the way of that fantasy.
Do you see what I'm saying here?
So far, what I'm seeing is that they're saying they know absolutely nothing about genetics, let alone biology.
So with a few industrial fridges and with a few gay men, women would be solid. Solid, okay?
I would like to point out that gay men are still men. Therefore, their entire argument falls apart, because they do actually need men.
You know, even if this happened to where they did this whole, well, I don't really need a man to raise a child, I just need your seed, or you get it. The child would still come out, y'all would still be struggling like you are right now, and then in a world full of boss babes, none of y'all would want to do any work. Y'all would be trying to send y'all's children to daycare, and if it's a world of infinite boss babes, y'all's multiple daycares, but how many babies can somebody really have? Knowing you type of women, 1 is never enough. 2 is never enough. 3 is never enough. Y'all would have to work endless hours. Y'all put all y'all's children in daycare from the point of as soon as they come out the womb, y'all going straight back to work. Y'all working right there in the hospital, never really honestly and truly bonding with your child. Y'all are such terrible people that as soon as that child hits the 1 to 2 year mark, y'all are done because they're not babies anymore. Y'all send them out. On to the next one. Let's go get another vial. Let's go ahead and do this over and over again. As a matter of fact, I will pay you so my body doesn't have to go through it because I'm a boss babe. This is going left, and it's going left fast. In a society full of women, it's going to be a whole bunch of babies, overloaded daycares. Kids ain't being taught anything but to be a boss babe, a boss chick, a strong independent woman, strong independent man. I wonder what they're going to do with the men, because you can't keep them. Inevitably, there's going to be men that say, you know what? I don't want to do this. I want to go my way. So what are you going to do with them? Y'all in a world of hurt. Y'all don't have no structure, no nothing. Y'all living in a fantasy world.
You notice that the men who have money never have a problem with the women who like material things?
Well, let's think about this rationally for a moment. A lot of the men that have excess money, and by excess, I mean more money than they necessarily need to get by on a daily or yearly basis and don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, a lot of times probably don't worry about having to budget down to the last penny. So spending money on incidentals or things that don't necessarily matter that much really isn't that big of a deal.
But the men that don't have money make it a huge issue.
Might that be because a lot of men out there actually have to live within their means and cannot justify spending money on things that a woman just wants because they want it? They actually have to worry about spending their money on things that are valuable and meaningful and that they need in life.
Is that a coincidence?
What is not a coincidence is that is spoken like someone who's never actually had to be careful with their finances. Otherwise, they would understand why some men are careful with what they spend.
It honestly should be a tax write-off.
For what?
There should be giant tax write-offs for women just needing to be a woman. Alive, presentable, done.
Oh, another one of these. I actually hope that they're kidding, because it's rather hard to imagine the amount of entitlement that has to be located in one person in order for them to think that they deserve reimbursement from the government for 1, just existing, and 2, looking presentable.
Do you know how much time, money, do you know how expensive it is for a woman to just be alive and presentable?
Just speaking from my personal experience, it really doesn't take that much time. And it's not that expensive, but I have found that if a person thinks that they need to spend a lot of money, then they will.
I'm no low maintenance girly, okay? I understand that. I'm a high maintenance. That's fine. I pay for it. I manage that. I'm the one that has to deal with the high maintenance-ness.
Well, I have to give credit where credit is due. At least they're self-aware in so much as being high maintenance goes, and they're responsible enough to take care of it all on their own. So good for them.
Sometimes I really wish I could be the girl that literally does mascara and that's it and runs out the door, doesn't get her nails done. That would be, I would have so much more time in life and just did ponytails every day. Or maybe if I was just a man, maybe I should just be a man.
Well, that went south quickly, didn't it? But just a gentle reminder, there's nothing at all wrong with being low maintenance. As long as you're happy being who you are, that's all that matters. Who else is thinking it? Let's read that again. Now, this is just my opinion, but after seeing a multitude of posts like that, I have come to the conclusion that the majority of the types of women that put out content like that have no genuine interest in being in any kind of meaningful or loving relationship with a man, let alone with any person, because people that think of relationships as transactional are only interested in relationships in so much as what they can get out of them. And that is unfortunate, because a lot of those women actually try to play themselves off as being strong and independent people. But if they actually were being very realistic with themselves, they could not survive on their own without having to rely on someone else to foot the bill. So yeah, making posts like that is a good way to know who to avoid.
I can't believe some of you genuinely think Hawaii is part of the US.
The American education system really needs some help.
There's just something about men sleeping in that I can't stand.
All right, go ahead and add that one to the list.
Like, I get it, I'm the problem, whatever.
It's so refreshing to see someone that's actually self-aware that, yeah, they're the problem.
As a man, why are you still asleep?
Well, here's a thought. Maybe he's tired.
You should be outside mowing the lawn.
Just imagine the progress that could have been made on that lawn if someone else had decided to do something nice for another person, but instead they decided to make a video about them sleeping in.
So I just can't, I don't know. Wake up. Why are you all dainty still laying in bed? Why are you still sleeping? Get up. Go clock in. Okay, go build a house. Go clean the grill. I don't know. Find something to do. Wake up.
I really don't think that some women actually want equality. Or for that matter, maybe they just don't know what it means because they want all of the privileges that come with it. But heaven forbid they actually put in the same amount of work.
Takes a person full of boldness and courage to say something stupid like that. I guarantee you. Takes a person. That's a lot of silliness that you just said. I'll be honest with you.
Misandry cannot exist.
Right. Well, I can certainly understand why so many women out there, as well as some men, are in denial that misandry actually exists, because then they would actually have to take, heaven forbid, accountability of their own actions that they are displaying against an entire demographic of people based on characteristics they cannot control. And after all, that's called being bigoted.
It's boy math.
Boy math. Right. But it's almost like there's a definition for misandry.
So bringing up the dictionary definition of misandry is pointless here.
Why? Because some out there don't seem to understand it? I totally get it, though. Actually having to acknowledge what a word actually means might mean having to take responsibility for some of the horrendous actions that have been put on display.
Because misandry does not exist.
Sorry, but in point of fact, it actually does. But I really do think it's adorable that some individuals think by saying something over and over again and remaining in denial will keep them from having to face any kind of accountability.
Misandry isn't a thing because misandry rarely, if ever, results in violence towards men.
Oh dear. So by this logic, as long as something doesn't cause large amounts of harm on a regular basis, it's not a thing. Right, but it's still okay to vehemently dislike someone based on characteristics that they cannot control. Good to know.
Misandry hurts men's feelings. Misogyny ends up with women being unalived by men.
I do believe that most rational people do acknowledge and understand that misogyny is wrong. After all, it is a form of bigotry, which, might I add, is misandry. But apparently it's okay to be a bigot as long as it's against men, because it only hurts men's feelings in some individuals' opinions, right? But unfortunately, that couldn't be further from the truth. Men do suffer from misandry, both physically and mentally. And if some individuals don't want to care about men's mental health and the unfortunate level of self-unaliving rates in the male population, well, then that's just fine. We'll just continue to push this narrative that misandry hurts no one except for men's feelings.
If I end up in the happiest, most loving, healthiest relationship, married with kids, whatever it is, I can promise you I will still hate most men.
So what is the rational reason behind that?
And that is something that I genuinely don't think will ever change, because there are so many men that treat women so badly.
So the rationale here is because of the actions of some men, they are therefore deciding to despise the majority of men.
If I truly find one that is just like the outlier that genuinely treats me good and treats other women well, You're like, he's just one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. Interesting. That sounds like something else I've heard before.
That's not going to change my outlook on the majority of men and the way that they go about their lives in society.
Is anyone else picking up on the fact that this is the exact same logic that some individuals use to justify racism?
I truly don't care that I feel this way about them because I didn't create these feelings, they did.
So what they're saying is essentially they can't control their own feelings, nor their reactions to other people's behaviors.
People think it's really picky that I'm not willing to date a single father.
Well, not necessarily. A person is, after all, allowed their own preferences while dating, but I think I would need to hear more.
It's like, if a woman took on the stigma of being a single mother rather than being with you.
Okay. Was not expecting it to go there.
Like, if she has a whole person with you and deemed you unworthy, why would I want to be with you?
Wow. Okay. So sometimes a man and a woman can be in a relationship together and happen to have a child, but sometimes those relationships just don't work out, and it can be the fault of neither person. But that doesn't necessarily mean that either of them considers the other one to be unworthy of being in a relationship with. That's quite an interesting stance to take.
And I guess maybe if you were a single father because your wife died, you're a widower.
Oh, so that would be the only time it's not the man's fault?
Like, low-key, how did she die, bro? Was it on a boat? Because if so, you did that.
Where's the guy with the red flag right about now? Because, yeah, he's needed. But I think a lot of single fathers will be very pleased to hear that some are not going to be in their dating pool.
Men like women with an excess of plastic surgery
No, they don't. Who told you that?
because they get off on the idea that a woman would put herself through anything just to be attractive to men.
That statement sounds like it actually came from a woman who actually had excess plastic surgery done and was actually trying to find ways to justify getting so much work done. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with getting cosmetic procedures done as long as it makes you feel better about yourself. That should be the reason why people get work done, not for the approval of others or so that they'll like them more. Because remember, ladies, most men prefer women with natural beauty and the confidence to let that show. No person should be getting cosmetic work done or wear excess makeup because they think other people will like it. That is something that a person should do for themselves, not for the approval of men or for the approval of other women.
Once again, opening her eyes wide as if, oh, peep that. Oh, that's tea. No, it's not. It's stupidity. A man done already in your face told you what he wanted, but y'all still looking at TV, watching TV, reading these silly books, thinking, and magazines actually, talking amongst yourselves, still thinking y'all know what a man wants, even though the man that told you it's not a game. It's not a game. This is what I would like. Y'all not gonna listen though.